Okay, this is really drilling 101, but why not? When I first started this 4 or 5 years ago, I never had a drill in my hands, so you have to start somewhere and you have to learn as you go along. You may as well come to something like this, which hopefully can shortcut a bit of the learning for you. If, as I said, we're drilling a hole in this floor, this imaginary floor in the house, through here to put your light through, you've got only a 7.5 or 8 inch-ish workspace. Some very, very tall rooms and doll's houses maybe as much as 10, but you have not got very much distance between your two floors to get a piece of kit in. And a drill needs to be, as much as you can possibly make it, it needs to be vertical. That sounds glaringly obvious, but you'd be surprised what a difference it makes to how your light hangs below. If you're going in at a 45-degree angle because you can't get a drill in it, or even a more acute angle than that, it does show. You put the wire through and you'll find that the light below is trying to kick in all different kinds of directions. It's not going to be very perpendicular if you can't get a perpendicular hole in it. So there's a couple of pieces of kit that you can use. One is a pin vise, which this particular one has a turning sort of top, so it's nice and comfortable in your hand to turn around. But it really doesn't matter. It's just basically a piece of kit that has what's called a collet in the end here. I wonder if it's better over that board or better over the white. And that collet comes out, and when you look at it very carefully, there's like a hole in the end with sort of expandy slits down the side, because that's where your drill bit is going to go in. Now this particular collet won't take the size drill I want, it takes smaller ones. That is not necessarily a bad thing. If you put one in that's too small, it's a good place to actually start your hole. You can start a hole easier with a fine drill than you can starting it straight on with the size that you want. Now she said that, and I've actually put it in a collet too big, and I'll show you that more slowly anyway, because I didn't really show you. The end screws off. The thing called the collet comes out. It can be shiny metal, it can be black, it can be whatever. And you're looking for something, you're trying your drill bit in it, you're looking for something that almost fits your drill bit to start with. So you see that that's sort of not dropping out of there. So that's a good fit. Then you're going to put this on, which will tighten it. It's just basically squeezing those openings together. So it's holding on to that drill bit really, really tightly. And then you can, it'll be easier for me if I do it vertically, can then start in the middle of your room, and this will go between your floors, and you can start drilling. So I'm not going to do very much because I want to show you several approaches on the same hole, but you can begin to see it's beginning to go in, beginning to get a hole. So that's a pin vise, and that works very, very well. This one with the turning top is very nice because it goes into the palm of your hand, and it means you can really press down on it and go through. It coat with 3/8 MDF, no trouble at all. The downside with mine that I have is that it won't take a drill bit fat enough, but that is only mine. You'll be able to get collets with bigger holes in to take thicker drills, because the drill bit that I'm going to want to use is that sort of size. Now whatever you're drilling for, whatever holes you're drilling and wherever you're drilling them, you take the object that you're going to put through it and have a look at it in relationship to the end of your drill, in relationship to that round end there. How thick is that compared to that? And do you think that's about right? This is possibly a bit overkill, it's possibly a little bit large, but it does make it easier for threading through. If you've got a really snug fit on this wire, you've only got a very small hole in your house and you're fiddling about trying to thread it through. And when you've almost every light has got some very big base here that's going to cover up your hole. So quite honestly, you can have a hole almost as big as this. Obviously it's nonsense, but I mean you can have a decent sized hole because you've got a whole plate here that's going to go up and cover it. So that's no problem at all. Have a decent sized hole so that you threading up is easier. This is another kind of drill that you can get. This one is too long, but you can get shorter versions of this called an Archimedes drill because of this screw here, or a twist drill. And they're lovely and easy to use because once you've got your drill bit in place, you are literally just pumping up and down like that. So it's not requiring a lot of force from you to get it through. It's working on the same principle as the previous one in that you have a collet and a neck to tighten your drill up. You put your drill bit in. I'm not sure I can find a drill bit small enough to go in at the moment, of course. Oh, I've got some really teeny ones. So you drill, oh, bear with me. Gosh, that's small. Very, very fine. There you go. So put your drill bit in, put your cover over and tighten it up, and you will eventually have a really nice little drill that will go in really easily, as I said, without very much pressure from you. And that's called an Archimedes drill or a twist drill. So out of the two of them, I'd probably recommend this, but obviously you've got to get a much shorter one than the one I've got. As I said, I showed you yesterday, I've got this powered, in the previous video, I've got this powered contraption. So in this one, the collet is built in. I don't have a piece that comes out, it's actually in the neck. So you're dropping your drill bit into there and it screws up between this part of the neck and this part of the neck. So you hold one still and screw the other one up. And I've got a horrible feeling, oh no, it is going to go. I was just thinking it wasn't the right size, but it is. Get it to where this one will hold sort of firmly, so you can have the amount extended that you want. You don't need a load stuck out, you're only going through 3/8. And you tighten it by twisting one in one direction and one in the other direction as hard as you can. So you're really going to hang on to that. And this is quite heavy, it's quite a heavy piece of kit. I'm going to have to move the camera forward a bit because it needs to go off the edge of my table, otherwise I should be through and into my table before I know it. Again, imagine that this is in your house. I could do with turning the speed up, I'm not used to this. Now, hold on. Nope, can't find the speed. And away we go. So eventually you're going to have your hole drilled for your wires to go through. Okay, that really was a very amateur display of how to do the drilling.